Because if you don't, you will be clocked. Bet you $5.
I'm toxic in this bitch. My whole crew get lit. No shame, y'all gang, been doing this shit. No sass is still smashing, pulling up with the whip. Got my bros beside me, hanging out with the clique.
Still focused, never hopeless, always in.
Question. Sus. That was so sus. Talking about some question. Pause on that. But I do have a question for you all that's watching, family, right? By a show of hands, well, not hands, but by show of like comments, serious question. Do you all believe in soulmates? Because, I do. I think. I don't know. I mean, here's why I say that. It's because a couple years ago, I met this girl, which is my ex. And, I mean, we're not together anymore, but it ended very good. Mutual, no problems, no nothing. It ended very, very good. But she's literally on the other side of the country, and it's like, but it's like when we first saw each other, and I kid you not, it was like straight out of like a romantic love movie or whatever. It was like when we first saw each other, something clicked, something like a twinkle in the eye or something. Like something happened the moment we saw each other, and I don't know how to explain it. But it was like the connection was just there even before we started even talking or anything. Before anything. When we saw each other for the very first time, like the second, I'm talking about like the second we saw each other, something happened within that second, and I can't explain it. But I strongly, I guess, I don't know, believe in soulmates, but it's like, I don't know, because do I believe in more than one? Do you only have one soulmate? Do you have multiple? Like, I feel like you should only have one soulmate, though, but I don't know. I don't know why I said all of that, but yeah. Oh, P.S. I'm extremely tired, so if at any moment during this reaction I miss any red flags, please do not hold me hold me accountable or fault me on it. It's because I'm tired. So here we go. Pause on that. All right, whatever. So that. Two chilling cult. Wow, I don't even need to read the rest. That's crazy. Cluck all cults. The hell? This shit is live? What? I was not expecting this. Okay, hold on. Now I have to really focus. Okay. Okay. Whew. Okay. What? What was that?
Number 1.
Oh, okay. I thought it was live.
I recently reconciled with my mother over the holidays. Prior to that, we hadn't spoken to each other in 10 years.
Damn.
Our last meeting, to say the least, was hurtful, and both our pride and egos were sorely tested. She was always more domineering than my father, and when he died when I was still young, she became convinced that the true test of love was to smother me with her anxieties. Long story short, she projected all her anxieties and hopes on me and was stern when she thought I failed or did not live up to her expectations. That led to that one fateful night all those years ago, when I just couldn't take it anymore. Out of the blue, I just got a call from her asking to talk. And since I was still fresh from the failure of my startup, I thought, why not? So I packed up my bags and headed to my childhood home. But I would soon find out that it was not the same home I grew up in.
Hey, I just want to let you know, and this is probably this image right here is probably something he got from like Google or whatever. But like, if you grew up in a house like this, you know it was some strict ass rules. Definitely some paranormal shit going on. Right? You probably couldn't, you like leave beyond the fence. You had to stay within the fence boundaries. Right? And there was a dead body somewhere in that house. That's all I'm saying.
To say the least. My mom belonged to one of the oldest families in the region, and although they are no longer as rich as they once were, they still were well off, but none of that was evident in the family home. I was surprised to see that she had replaced our old housekeeper with a new and older one, to cut on costs, so she said. But despite the more advanced age of the new housekeeper, there was something about her that suggested cunning, agility, and menace.
That's your shit. Talking to your shit. That's all I'm saying. Shit. But something tells me you going not listen to your shit. And just do your own thing and act like the new housekeeper isn't clucking creepy. I feel like that's what you about to do. I bet you $5 he's just gonna act like she not creepy. She not sus. I bet you $5. Like, come on. Right there is when you should have said, no. Bitch. New bitch. You probably go the one down the street. You not about to replace old dude, old girl. You not. Like, I don't know who the hell you are. I don't know where the hell you came from. But you're not about to replace my OG. My original house. Nope. You not. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and move over to the next neighbor, right? And if they don't want you, just keep on going down the street until you hit 6 miles. Cause you're not coming back. You tripping. You tripping. Cause when I first met you, a part of my soul died.
Eyes receded deeply into her eye sockets.
Oh my God.
And she walked with a cane that seemed inappropriate. For one, she seemed to stand all right without it. She bade me to wait a while in the living room. The formality was a bit intimidating, yet comical. All the art and antiques she collected were gone too. Instead, I found that she replaced them with statues of saints, like the ones you see in Mexican churches. I never thought of my mother as very religious. Sure, we used to go to church, but like everyone else, we treated it more as a social club than anything else. My eyes were drawn to a life-size crucifix she had installed in the living room. It was then I noticed it had 5 eyes, with a lidless one on the forehead, and it had this twisted grin. Soon I noticed that the other saints also had deformities. A statue of St. Peter had a monkey's head. The Virgin Mary was a crowned skeleton.
The hell?
St. Sebastian had 3 faces and was plunging a knife into one of its mouths.
Damn.
It was really fucking weird to say the least. Then I heard the upstairs creak, and I knew someone was walking, perhaps going downstairs. I saw my mother in a long, flowing white dress. It wasn't one of those hideously overpriced designer rags she used to wear, but rather a plain white linen smock with a long train that trailed behind. There was something almost penitential about it. She had a funny hat on her head too, which almost resembled a bishop's mitre. But it was not the sight of my mother which bothered me the most. What or who came after her was the most unnerving. Giddily bouncing behind her was an extremely fat little girl, probably no older than 7, with hair falling to her ankles. The girl, like my mother, was dressed entirely in white. My mother gave me a long look, smiled, and almost ran down to me. She said she missed me immensely and was so glad to welcome me back to the family. I was puzzled at this. She was estranged from her brother and sister, and I was sure I was her only child. Or was the girl beside her? As if reading my thoughts, she assured me that I was still the apple of her eye. The girl, however, was God incarnate, the so who has come to feast on our sins. She said all this with a genuine feeling, with a smile that never faded.
Okay, but whole time, right? As you're hugging moms, does moms know about the 7-year-old? Or is it just you? Like, can the mom see the child? Or is it like a spirit or something? Is it a ghost? Because if that's the clucking case, let me go ahead and get out this junk, like for real, ASAP. Cause whole time as I'm giving my moms the hug, I'm looking dead at you. I'm looking at the kid dead in his eyes. You know, dead in her eyes. I'm like, hey. Mom, yeah, you see that? You see her? What? You said no. You don't see her. Doses.
I felt repulsed. Welcome home, Jordan.
Who?
I hope you can share in the great feast. I saw something flash in the little girl's eyes that night. Whatever it was inhuman, and I desperately need to get out of here. Number 2.
Why you gotta say number 2 like that? Man,
I was on my way back to my college campus the Sunday night after 4th of July. I had driven through the roads along the swampy marshes of southern Louisiana just to get to my folks' house, and I was regretting it now. My mom had convinced me to stay for at least one Sunday supper, and now I would have to drive all night if I wanted to make it to classes on time Monday morning. I didn't really like driving on the back roads next to the bayou. The way the cypress trees rise out of the dark water on either side of the road.
I don't think nobody will be comfortable driving next to a bayou. What the hell is a bayou? Hold on. I don't know, because he's using terms that I don't even... What does bayou mean?
Which word? B-A-Y-O-U? B-I-O? Bayou means, in the southern US, a marshy outlet of a lake or river.
Okay. I didn't know what that meant, and I need to get like the full setting. Okay, cool. Yeah, you clocking up.
Me out. They are really thick in some places too, and sometimes when I drive by them, my mind plays tricks on me.
Oh.
Like, I might see a dark shape, and if I stare at it long enough, it might look like it's darting between trees, following my car, waiting for me to stop. I always get psyched out when the only lights come from my headlights. So I turned on the radio to get my mind off of things. It really provides a distraction from the looming trees and the overwhelming sense of dread that seems to overcome me. So on this particular evening, it was around 11:30 at night, and almost pitch black out, except for the moon high in the sky, casting its silvery beams on the road. I was doomed to darkness. I started driving down a dirt road, with a tree-heavy bayou on the left, and a thick 10-foot-high underbrush on the right.
Shit.
Much to my dismay, the radio started breaking, cracking, and making static noises.
Of course. Of course.
Damn it, I whispered, turning a few knobs. I really don't need this right now. The static got louder and louder, until there was no trace of music, and it was just blaring static. Sighing in defeat, I turned back to the road just in time to see a dark figure appear in my headlights just before I hit it head on. I screamed and swerved to the left, feeling the front, then back tires travel over what I just hit. I swerved to the right again and slammed on the brakes, coming to a dusty, sudden stop in the middle of the road. I punched the steering wheel in frustration and hung my head in my hands. Had I just hit someone? I could kiss college and the rest of my life goodbye. Gulping, I got out of the car and...
Come on, yo. Oh. See, in a situation like that, Mo, because the way you just described that scene, like the place you're in, it's darkness. It's dark as hell. And the only two sources of light is the ones coming from your headlights and the moon itself. Other than that, yo, there's no street lights. There's no other source of light. So you mean it's dark as hell, right? And you right in the middle of a bayou, and you think you hit a human or you ran over somebody. That's when it may be a little clucked up what I'm about to say, but that's when, because in your situation, that's when you say, oops, my bad, I'm sorry, and then get the hell on. You know? Walk it off. Isn't that what Captain America said? I think it wasn't, what? Was it Avengers or something? He was like, he said something, and then he was like, if you get killed or something, walk it off. Yeah, hey, I swear, if I was in your situation, I would have been like, oops, that's it, oops, and then I would have got the hell on. Because I'm driving and it's dark as hell, and I feel, and then my car does something like a doo-doom. Nah, nope, nope, you got it. Sorry, oops, and then I'm gonna keep going.
Door open. Peering out onto the moonlit road, I saw a dark, crumpled figure lying about 30 feet away. It wasn't moving. The warmth of the summer air, muggy and hot, washed over me. It didn't feel pleasant at all. Mosquitoes and flies were buzzing everywhere. I had to swat them off as I looked down the road at the body. Fuck, I whispered. I jogged down the road yelling, Sir, are you alright?
Who's sir?
To a figure who, admittedly, probably wasn't alright at all. I reached it and got down on one knee. It was lying face down. I turned it over and stepped back in shock. It was a dummy. A padded dummy dressed in jeans and a t-shirt.
So this motherfucker is in the middle of a clucking trap. It's a setup. I don't know why I didn't think about that. I told you I'm tired. So a lot of red flags are just going right over my head. So now that you know it was a dummy, you probably think that it's a trap or it's a setup. So go back into your car, lock all your doors, roll up all your windows, right, and close your vents, right? And then just go, and then just start hauling ass with your car, because just go. I don't care where you go. Just get the hell out of that place that you're in. Because if you don't, you will be clocked. Bet you $5.
The impact with my car had ripped its chest open, causing stuffing to spill out onto the road. What the fuck? I whispered, feeling more scared than ever. I looked up, eyeing the tall bushes ahead of me and the dark bayou beyond that. There was no logical explanation for a dummy being out on a deserted back road like this. Before I could ponder this further, a sudden breeze picked up.
What?
Rustling the bushes. A low moaning suddenly picked up, circling around me.
See,
I looked in all directions, looking for a cause of the moaning.
you need to be looking for your
I saw
car.
none. Suddenly, a loud scream came from somewhere behind me.
Oh my God.
It was a cry of pure terror and desperation. I screamed myself and turned back to look down the road. There, between the bushes, a red face stared.
I'm looking. I heard the scream. I heard somebody screaming, so I'm looking. There. A face is over there. But over here is my car, so do I help the person that just screamed? Or do I hop into my car and haul ass? What? Help? Help you? Or haul ass? Help you? Or haul ass? Help you? Haul ass? Hey. That reminded me of that song with the Carters. I think it was called Nice or whatever. She was like, cluck you, help you, haul ass, cluck you. I said cluck you, help you, haul ass. Yeah, bitch, I'm hauling ass.
A bright light, probably from a flashlight, came from the right of the face. I put my hands up to see the face in the bushes.
Oh my God.
It was the face of a young woman. A large cut was on her forehead, causing crimson to run down her face, until only her bright eyes stared at me from behind the mask of blood. I could only stare on in disbelief. The girl opened her mouth and screamed again, causing more blood to leak out of her mouth and run down her chin, staining the dusty road below. I still couldn't see who was holding the flashlight, because the light was blinding me. I screamed and started to run back towards my car, but much to my horror, I saw one black-gloved hand close the door from the inside and turn the keys, starting the engine. Then it took off down the road, sending up clouds of dust as it went.
That's crazy because you are a cluck. You have you're sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, bitch, not sorry. Like, nobody can help you at this point. Like, you're done. Fate, this is your death. Like, everything ends right now at this moment. Tonight is the night. Tonight, it's all on the table now, right? Ooh, excuse me. It's all out now, you know? Shit. Because there's not a chance in hell that you're wearing Adidas. It's not. It's not. And if you say you are, you're a goddamn lie. You're lying. Liar. Nobody likes liars, liar. I act so much different when I'm sleepy. And does anybody else do like some like stupid shit when they're when they're tired and they're trying to you're trying to keep yourself up like I'm doing right now? Like, oh my gosh.
Until it was out of sight. I turned back to the bushes where I had seen the face, where it had only been moments before. It was now a body, a real body, lying in the road.
Wow.
I rushed over to it, and seeing the condition, got up and ran over to the swamp, almost vomiting. It was a young woman, about 20. The large cut in her forehead had plastered her hair to her face with blood. Her throat had been violently slashed, staining the road red. Her body only dressed in a t-shirt and underwear. She was covered in burn marks and scratches.
Woo!
Her fingernails had been pried off.
Oh my God!
I moaned and stumbled back to the road. That's when the giggling started.
Whoa! What? Whoa!
Over the moaning wind, a high, childlike giggle swept over the dark bushes and trees. It wasn't a child. It was obviously an adult trying and failing to sound like one. I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I turned away from the body and ran. I ran down the road, eyes flicking from right to left, looking for movement of any kind. Tears were streaming down my cheeks. I had to get the hell away from here as soon as possible. I didn't want to end up like that poor girl on the road. The sadistic giggling grew fainter and fainter until I couldn't hear it anymore. After 5 minutes, I arrived at a T-junction. An old sign pointed north, towards Church Point. The one to the right pointed towards Baton Rouge, which was near my college. I turned onto this road and was greeted by the sudden sound of chanting.
If I was in your situation, yo. God, yeah, it's about that time. I'm gonna meet you up there in like 2 seconds. You could have, you had the opportunity to run so much. You had so many opportunities to run, but you didn't. You had so many opportunities to listen to your gut, but you didn't. You had so many opportunities to notice the red flags, but you didn't. All I'm saying is you had opportunities, and you didn't take not one of them at all. Like, I'm low key doing this so I can wake myself up. Wow, that made me dizzy. Okay. So, because, you're playing games so much,
Okay.
no. Well, in the morning. What?
Well, what do you do?
All right. You better, hey, yeah. What? I'm not even gonna lie, like, because I'm so tired and because my cousin interrupted me, I kind of lost my train of thought. But now I know where I was. Kind of. So basically, you can't do nothing. Like, because you chose to play games throughout this whole story, and the story not even over with. Because you chose to play games on purpose, you deserve everything that's about to happen to you. Everything. 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 God, I'm tired.
I looked off to the left and saw a small glow in between the trees.
See.
I squinted my eyes and walked closer. Some people were standing around a fire,
People.
tossing things into a pot that was suspended over the flames.
People?
They were all wearing some kind of deer mask made out of sticks and twine.
What the hell?
Suddenly, they began dancing around the fire in erratic twirling movements. One who was much taller than the others stood back, holding a large book. He was wearing nothing except what appeared to be a goat mask. Suddenly, he began reading in a deep, booming voice.
All hail the fallen angel Lucifer.
Hail to the fallen angel, the dancers repeated as they continued their strange ritual.
He sees the blood that we spill in his honor, and he is grateful to us, for we are his chosen disciples.
Not me.
The dancers repeated this as well.
He is one. He is power.
The dancers stopped dancing and circled around the man in the goat mask.
All hail Lucifer, Lord of Darkness.
You better hell these
The
Adidas.
hooded figures whooped and cheered at this.
Now, let us begin the celebration of this sacred nocturnal festival. Let us begin the consumption of flesh.
The hooded figures almost snarled with pleasure, then drew daggers from the folds of their robes. They lunged at the man with the goat mask, stabbing him over and over while I stood back, horrified. They shoved the now dead man to the ground and jumped on top of him,
Wow.
covering him so I couldn't see, laughing crazily the whole time. I heard the sound of tearing flesh and looked away, moaning with fright. I stumbled back in disbelief and turned back to the road, only to see a small figure about 10 feet away. I screamed and took a step back. It was a very young girl, about 10, wearing black robes but no mask. Her hair was very light blonde, almost white. Her eyes were bloodshot, pupils red. She cocked her head to the side and smiled at me. She lifted one arm, pointed a finger at me, and began to laugh.
Yeah, she laughing because you about to get clucked the hell up. To the max. To the max. DJ Khaled had a song called like To the Max featuring Drake, or it was Drake's song. See, there it is again. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm gonna stop talking.
It was a high, thin, terrifying sound that caused me to clap my hands over my ears. Then she snapped her fingers. Out from the trees behind her stepped about 20 other people, all dressed in black robes
Where are these people
and
coming?
deer masks. Some of them cocked their heads, eyeing me suspiciously. Then the girl stomped her feet and yelled something in a strange language I didn't recognize. All at once, the masked figures began running towards me. I screamed and turned the other way, footsteps thudding in the dirt, towards the swamp. It was my only way out. Behind me, I could hear the girl laughing with pure delight. I jumped into the swamp, and between many cypress trees that towered above me, the grimy water was only about 2 feet deep. I could hear angry shouts from behind me, and more sounds of feet hitting the water. I felt something whiz by past my ear. I watched a dagger hit the water ahead of me, and then sank into the darkness. They chased me around the swamp for what seemed like forever. The moon got lower and lower in the sky, but it still remained very dark. Every time I thought I was safe, I would see another one, about 30 feet away.
You're not. I thought I just saw a mother clucking shadow. Stop. See, now I'm starting to see shit. You're not safe. Talking about you thought you were safe. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You know the moment you stepped foot or stepped tire into the bayou, you knew you wasn't gonna be safe. So stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your ass. Stop lying to the people. Right? You're not safe. You're never gonna be safe. Even if you do, and this is a big ass if, you make it out of the bayou, you're still not gonna be safe. You're not. That's just the way it goes. You know. You know how many times I've met people that was just in a bayou, and they never made it out alive, or if they did, I'm lying. I never met anybody that was in a bayou. I just want to close my eyelids.
Staring at me from the empty sockets of their mask. Then I would turn, splashing away. At one point, I tripped over something and went headfirst into the water. Getting up, I was horrified to see I had tripped over a skeleton. Black, rotten flesh, still clinging to a few of its bones.
Nope.
In the end, I jumped behind a tree and sank until I was up to my neck, sitting on the muddy bottom with my knees up to my chin. I closed my eyes and prayed the cultists wouldn't find me. I heard splashing and angry shouts for about another 2 hours, until they steadily grew fainter and fainter, until they couldn't be heard anymore. I still waited until the sun was high in the sky, before I got up and began trying to find my way out of the swamp. 3 hours of splashing, tripping, and guessing later, I found a dirt road and began following it.
3 hours.
Almost collapsing with exhaustion, I eventually reached a small gas station and shambled through the door. It must have been quite a sight. Slopping wet, covered in scratches, bruises, and blood.
Damn.
After quickly explaining to the horrified clerk I needed help, I used the phone to call the police. They seemed skeptical at first, but they agreed to send a squad car out to the location I described. I then called my mom, asking her to pick me up. The police never found my car. They were able to follow the tracks in the dust for a while, but the dirt road eventually hit a paved one, and they were unable to trace it anymore. The police found the girl's body on the road, and immediately called a search party to comb through the swamp. I was told they found over 35 bodies, most of them in late stages of decomposition, weighed down in the swamp with rocks. They found 2 fresh bodies, the girl on the road, and another deep in the woods. Her heart had been cut out.
Damn.
As for me, whenever I visit my parents, I take an alternate route along the interstate. It may not be as fast, but I prefer it much more than the dark, twisted back roads of the swamps, where hooded figures run between the trees.
I feel like you already knew that about swamps, but you still,
There's always a reason
you
to be
didn't,
afraid.
you didn't get me this time. Hey. See, because I feel like you were straight. I feel like, all right. So I'm tired, right? So I'm trying to remember everything that just happened. Story 1. It was the red flags wasn't as serious. It was still some red flags in there. It was still creepy. But, like, the second story was just, like, how... I don't even know where to start because, like, I feel like you just straight playing games throughout the entire story, too. And plus, I feel like whole time you was just straight bullshitting. You know? Because there was kid you not, there were plenty of times when you had the opportunity to haul ass, but you didn't. You stayed your ass right there. So it's like, man, you can't help nobody if they don't want to help themselves. You know, you can't help nobody if they don't want to be helped. Come on, man. Shit. Yeah, but he was straight bullshitting in the second story. He missed me with all of that. So, yeah. Good luck, with your future endeavors. I've never said that word before. See, because also when I'm tired, I tend to say things that I don't typically say on a normal, regular basis, right? But, oh, man, yo, ouch, ouch. But yeah, I felt like you knew what you were getting yourself into. You just wanted to either take the chance, or you just wanted to prepare to die that night, because you sure as hell came close. But yeah, I'm done here. I'm done talking. I need to get some rest. I don't know why I make videos when I'm like hella tired. But keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay happy, my family.